Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book, thoughts, ideas, book recommendations, something bookish related. So today's topic, I don't even know where we really even came up with it. It might have been when you guys suggested to us. I'm not even sure. But we're going to talk about 5 books that are slow burns. Now again, we don't really, other than coming up with kind of our overall idea, slow burns, we don't talk specifics about it. So a slow burn to me is a book definitely worth reading, but just takes me a while to get through it. Not that it's bad, they have their different reasons why it took me a while. Still worth it, but it's just one that I'm not going to just be able to power through. So I have 5 book recommendations. You still need to read these books, but just know it might take you a little longer than normal, at least in my opinion. So the first one I have, well, I picked it because of sheer size, because this puppy's like, what, 850 pages? It's a monster. But it's a book that I had always wanted to read for a long time, finally tackled it. It just took me a while. That is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. This is set in the Old West, follows a bunch of cowboys. Very, very good style. Very, very good story. They're taking a cattle drive out of Texas up to Montana. I think so. And it involves Indians, settlers. There's a whole slew of characters. It's fantastic. It's going to take a while. There are some parts that are a little slower. There are parts that go crazy, like crazy fast. It doesn't help that the chapters are can be a little long. Definitely recommend it. It is a classic book I think everybody needs to read. It's just going to take a little bit. Get yourself a good floppy copy. Highly suggest that. The next one I have is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. Again, just was a slow burn for me. It just took me a while. I liked it. I wanted to know what happened. I really liked the characters. It's just not one that I could sit down and read without stopping for hours on end. So this takes place in the 1850s in California while the gold rush was like big time on. Tons of people coming there for the gold rush. And we follow our main character, Angel. She has been betrayed by men her entire life. She works in a brothel as a prostitute, and kind of has accepted that as her life. And then we have Michael, Hosea, who she meets, and Michael has been told by God that he is to marry Angel. And he does. And you kind of see what happens from there. So, like I said, great story. I did really like it. Just, it took me a little bit longer to get through the book. The next one I have is a nonfiction, The Great Pretender by Susanna Callahan. Susanna Callahan wrote the book Brain on Fire, right? Pretty sure. Not Girl on Fire. Brain on Fire. When she was misdiagnosed as having a mental disorder when it really was an autoimmune disease that needed to be treated. So she follows a Dr. David Rosenhan, and he did a study in the 1970s where he had a number of healthy, normal people try to and successfully get themselves admitted to mental institutions or mental hospitals and then had to get themselves out. They had to prove their sanity. So she kind of uncovers this study. She digs a little deeper into it. It is a really great book, but I could only handle 2 chapters, 20-ish pages a day. So it took me a little longer. I'm usually reading about 50 to 75 pages a day. So yeah, it took me a little bit just to get through it, but it was definitely worth the read and so intriguing. So intriguing. The next one I have, and this is another historical fiction. I feel like we're on a trend here, which is crazy considering that's like my favorite genre and I usually speed through those. But I have Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. This follows, 3 different women in the late 1930s, and they all are affected by World War II in a different way, yet you see some parallels. They all are kind of heroes in their own respect. There are some secrets involved. There's some things that they do involved. It's a really great story, but again, a slow burn for me. It's a lot, and you get, like, I ended up liking one character's chapters a little bit more than the other, so it would take me a little bit of time to get through some of them. So we have Caroline, Kasia, and what's the third one? Herta. So a Polish teenager, a German doctor, and an American socialite. She was kind of doing what she could from the American side of the war. Really liked it. I'm interested to read another book by Martha just to see if I have a similar struggle. And I hate even using the word struggle because I still really, really enjoyed the book. It just took me a little longer to get through it. Still worth the read though, guys. This is fantastic. There's some things I learned in here and then went down a rabbit hole of figuring out the true historical references to it that I did not know. It's fantastic. Just took a little while. And my last one is more of a series, I guess, per se, even though it's in one book for me. But it's The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This literally took me like a year to read. So this has all of the books. What are there, like 10 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I was wrong. Starting with The Magician's Nephew, which is the one that technically comes before The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and ending with The Last Battle. Again, love these stories. I love C.S. Lewis, and maybe it's because I took this as one book and I maybe just bit off too big of a chunk and I should have just read them individually. But this was back in the day when I thought, like, if I start a book, I cannot do anything else before I can't pick up any other book before I finish it. I can't just read one story and go to something else. This is where I was like, no, this is the book I'm reading and I have to read it. So maybe it didn't take me a year. It took me like a solid 6 months though to get through this, which is pretty sad considering there's only 7 stories. But slow burn for me, still highly suggest, because Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is an amazing story. I still remember reading that just one story in school, which is kind of why I was intrigued by the entire thing and how kind of the characters, you see them reappear in other stories and then you get in, you learn about new characters and different, it's fantastic. It just took me a while to get through it. So that was my last one. Anyways, those are my 5 slow burns. Need to still go read the books. They might take you some time. Don't forget to head over to Sarah's channel, see what she has picked out for her slow burn books today. I don't know what she would pick. I had an idea. We're gonna keep that a surprise. So otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey everybody. I'm so not even ready for this. It's one of those days. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday, and I feel like I'm really far away from the camera now. And welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas. I feel like I need a necklace on.